Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Find us on Facebook.com/superfunpodcast, Twitter.com/superfunpodcast, Patreon.com/superfunpodcast, Instagram @superfunpodcastgo, iTunes @Superfun Game Review Podcast Go. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go! To my left, I have Mr. Steve tonight.
It's like finding a bride in a brothel house.
Across from me is Mr. Ralph. To my right, Clark Man.
Drake's full of shit. I am actually the descendant of Sir Francis Drake.
Oh. And I will be your host this evening, Mr. Harry. Heads up.
A lot of headshots in your playthrough.
All right, guys. Tonight we're going to talk about Uncharted 1, Drake's Fortune. So let's just jump right into initial impressions. Steve, what do you got?
I have never played an Uncharted before, to the begrudging of many people that I know who have said, I really need to play this game. And now I have played this game. And now I'm looking forward to more games. But we will get into that more. There's an impression.
There you go. That was quite the impression. Ralph, what do you got for us?
Steve, you can almost say this is uncharted territory for you.
Oh, this fucking guy. Fucking double guns, Ralph.
Double guns.
You fucking sock cucka.
Oh my god! Wow. Yeah. So I skipped Uncharted completely. I didn't get on the.
No way, a big mainstream franchise that you skipped?
Hey, what are you trying to say? You trying to call me a hipster? What is this? No.
Fucking video game hipster.
Yeah, right. Come on.
Memory.
I hate hipsters.
It's not even going to go there. I played Uncharted 2. That was the one that really seemed. I drank the hype for Uncharted 2, played it, enjoyed it. I never went back to play this one. And I was glad to do so. I can see where they innovated, and I can see that this is like the early blueprint which launched this franchise. And we'll get into more detail.
When I was a kid, I idolized Indiana Jones. I thought Indiana Jones was the shit. And so when this game came out, I bought a PS3 to have this game. Like it was
Really?
it was the first game that I was like, I have to own a PS3 for this. It was that and Metal Gear 4. I bought both of them. I waited until this came out, bought this, and Metal Gear Solid 4.
I think Metal Gear Solid 4 came out in 2009, though. It was 2 years later.
This was 2 years later?
No, this was 2 years earlier. This was 2007.
All right, maybe it was Metal Gear Solid 4. I bought them the same day when I bought my PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And I played like an hour or two of Metal Gear, and
You watched an hour or two of Metal Gear,
right? And then I played this until my disc broke. I couldn't get past chapter 18.
I guess they patched that.
I had this used, so the disc was just scratched.
Oh,
never got past it, but I was obsessed with trying to play this game, so much so that I bought a PS3.
What about you, Harry?
So, I actually didn't know about this game until I played The Last of Us. Because I was a huge fan of The Last of Us. Go back and listen to that episode. You'll definitely agree that I was. But I was looking for more games.
Some of us weren't.
Yeah, I know.
No, we all.
I don't like
did.
the ending.
Jesus
That
Christ.
episode.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was looking for more games like that had like rich characters, like a fully engrossed story, like that just the way that they tell their story. I guess I was looking for more just because they haven't released like The Last of Us 2. I needed to fill that void in my life. So I remember putting this in the back of my head, like I need to play this series at some point. When they started releasing commercials for Uncharted 4 on television, they were also saying like to get like hype for this game, like we're releasing the entire collection. And I was thinking, wow, all 3 games in one collection, like I got to get my hands on this. I actually put off getting it for like a year, which I'm glad I did because I think I paid like half price now because I got this like really pretty cheap. Like the entire, I think I got it for like $15. So like if you think about it, it's like $5 a game.
Yeah, I mean, it came out for 40.
Yeah,
It started at 40. It didn't
something
come
like
out
that.
at 60.
So no, I finally had the franchise. I only played the first game, but I'm very excited that we picked this up.
I will say one thing that I do not like about the collection, and this doesn't speak anything about the actual game itself. I do not like that on the PS4 collection, there's no multiplayer in 2 and 3.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Really?
The multiplayer is stripped out. It is just the single-player components of the 3 games. It's something that bothers me because the multiplayer in 2 and 3 is amazing. They just stripped it out.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's jump into game development, gents.
Game development.
So this game was made by Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog!
They are of Jak and Daxter fame earlier, and I believe Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, yeah. To go from Crash Bandicoot to making this game is, that's a hell of a jump,
Yeah.
I'll say.
You said it. I didn't play any Naughty Dog games until the second one, second Uncharted, actually. I never played Crash Bandicoot. I never played Jak and Daxter. And I guess it's the third Jak and Daxter they finished, and then they started working on this, right?
Right.
Seems to make sense. Looks like it launched November 19th, 2007. 2-year development cycle.
Just keep rambling bullet points. All right, so it says under the codename Big. That's odd. I thought I read something interesting about development earlier, like they kept it a secret for quite some time.
Yeah, this was developed in secret because so what happened was at E3 it got announced by PlayStation that Naughty Dog was working on an exclusive game for the PS3.
Yeah, oh yes, I do remember that.
And no one knew what it was. Everybody assumed it was another Jak and Daxter game. And then they were like, here's Uncharted. And everyone was like, what the fuck is this? And then it was like, oh, it's kind of a take on like the modernness of Lara Croft with some of the actual like intrigue of Indiana Jones.
Dude Raider.
Yeah. Dude Raider.
Dude Raider. Also Ralph's favorite porno.
It's a good one, Ralph.
My favorite porno is the Erotic Witch Project.
I like the Bear Bitch Project. That's pretty good. I think that one was that Showtime or Skinamax?
Oh, God.
Forget.
So the artist aimed for a style that was photorealistic. They envisioned the main protagonist, Nathaniel Drake. Nathan Drake as more of an everyman character than Lara Croft, shown as clearly under stress in the game's many firefights. All right, so it was 2007, I guess. I think that's a big bullet point, but other
You're
than that,
2007.
your mom's 2007.
It's so 2000 late.
So this was Naughty Dog's first PlayStation 3 game.
So they really had to get used to the new hardware and everything, especially if you're trying to, make a big jump in making a type of game like this compared to basically anything else you've done up to that point.
Looks like development actually started on the PS2 and had to be changed over to the PS3.
Well, it's also interesting that it wasn't until sometime in 2008 when they released a patch is when they actually finally started integrating PlayStation 3's trophy system. So they'd even have that set up right off the bat. And then,
Well, a lot of games actually at the time didn't have the trophies yet. Around 2008 is when the trophy system came out
Gotcha.
to compete with the achievements on Xbox.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Actually, I believe, if I remember correctly, and this is sheerly off the top of my head, I believe that Uncharted was either one of the first games to get trophies or one of the last. I remember like it was one or the other. People were pretty upset about it.
Oh, check this out. Says here, during the closed beta of PlayStation Home on October 11th, 2008, Naughty Dog released an Uncharted-themed game space for PlayStation Home. The space is Sully's bar from the game. In this space, users can play an arcade minigame called Mercenary Madness, which during the closed beta, there were rewards. The rewards were removed from the release of the home open beta. There are also 3 other rooms in this space in which during the closed beta, users had to find out codes to the doors that access these rooms.
You guys remember PlayStation Home?
I do.
I actually remember making like my avatar and like walking around and trying to interact with people. It was, I don't know how long it lasted, but it was an interesting concept. It's almost like The Sims for your
PlayStation
avatar.
Yeah.
That was PlayStation 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I never owned a PlayStation 3,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately. Every other PlayStation, 1, 2, and 4, but not...
I'm
not-
surprised you haven't just picked one up yet. They're like $80.
I feel like there's no point at this point.
What's
to play PS3 games.
what's an exclusive PS3 game that he can't get that is really worth
Metal Gear
having
Solid
on
4.
the-
I'm not really into the Metal Gear series like that, though.
Killzone.
I was going to say Shadow of the Colossus, but
That's just about
that's
to
just
come
an
out on
HD
PS4.
version, and they're doing another one. Yeah,
I really want to play that.
me too.
They're interesting.
I always wanted to play that game. I'm probably going to pick up the remake when they do it. Cool. Why don't we move on from game development? Let's dissect this story, guys.
Yeah.
Story.
So where do we start?
I want to start with the Indiana Jones thing that Clark brought up in his initial thought, that this is almost not a carbon copy, but it feels like an Indiana Jones story set in the modern time, which,
Yep.
if they were going to reboot Indiana Jones, I kind of wish that they would consider a direction like this. I feel like Sully is kind of a cross between Marcus Brody and Indiana Jones' father.
Sean Connery.
I think he's more...
Henry Jones Sr.
I feel like he was more timid in the movie.
More timid?
Sean Connery's character.
All that matters is the cradle.
He wasn't as like... Because Sully was like kind of like gung-ho partner, more
Yeah.
or less. He wasn't
sure,
afraid
you're
to
right.
get...
For sure.
You're
For
right.
sure.
Real gruffy.
They fill the same role. They're not exactly the same character. I'll give you that.
And
They're
the-
a catalyst for the main character, really.
And the barmaids in Lima. Those were his
So-
favorite.
I want to tell you, like, 3 different feelings I got in this game. So originally, I
Happy, sad, in between.
100% agree with the Indiana Jones thing. I felt like the first 70% of the game, Indiana Jones all the way.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Go on.
I was actually talking to you briefly about this the other day. Then there was a point where you are walking through the jungle and you see this man dead on this like spear trap.
Yep.
And I got this whole Predator vibe.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Just for like, it was like 1 or 2 chapters. I was like, I feel like we're being hunted by like something we can't see.
Yeah.
was a firefight.
We're-
They were firing in all directions.
something else is going on.
There's something out there, and I ain't no man.
And then I don't even when
Spanish?
I guess when the Spaniards as what the hell are those things from Until Dawn?
The Wendigo.
Yeah,
The Wendigo. They were like a Wendigo.
The Wendigo Spaniards.
Wow.
didn't they actually like model wise looked very similar to the Until Dawn Wendigos.
Kind of in like
Yeah,
some of their
for sure.
movements. Yeah.
But I don't even know what,
Mind,
I don't
not
even
just
want
one
to
big one.
I don't even know how to classify how I felt about the game at that point, but I definitely felt the Indiana Jones vibe and then like a Predator vibe and then whatever the fuck that is for the end of the game.
I honestly think it still follows the same ideas of most of the Indiana Jones movies. All the Indiana Jones movies have a weird supernatural twist towards
mystical.
the end.
Yeah, like a mystical. Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
like the Grail melts that fucking dude, and
The
Kali Ma fucking
the Ark of the
rip your
Covenant.
heart out.
The Ark of the Covenant melts guys as well. Now
Yeah.
that you put it that way.
Mhm.
That's what I said.
No, I know. Well, there's aliens or interdimensional beings in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Not that counts.
Yeah, that's not an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, can I say if there was a gripe with the story, and it's not even that there's a supernatural element, but that it was like a demon that actually came into the game. Like there could have been like a cursed item in the game.
There was a cursed item in the game.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, I just wish it didn't create creatures. That was kind of like it
turned people into creatures.
It doesn't
know.
add up though.
It pulled me out of the story. Everything was flowing amazing for me until that point. I stepped back a little bit, to be completely honest. Think if there was a point, and I'm saying overall, I think the story is amazing in this game, but if there was something that was tainting it, it would be that.
So where the curse could have been represented differently rather than turning people into creatures.
Yeah, maybe it just like it has some kind of weird curse where it kills you in like a month or something, or I don't know how else they could have done it, but just something not creature related.
Not
Okay,
that.
I like where you're going with this, and I kind of feel the same way. I don't know how to say this without it being a spoiler, but I want to say that in another Uncharted game, there's a similar scenario that about in the midpoint, I'm not going to say which one, about the midpoint, actually, forget it. I just gave it away. I only have played one other Uncharted game. You know which one it is.
I do know all the games in the series have a supernatural element.
Yeah.
I am aware of that. I was reading some memes, and you know that one where they usually throw the guy out the window, where they're like, "We need ideas for this new game," and the one is like, "Oh, let's do something, and let's do something else with a supernatural element," and then the third guy is like, "Hey, let's get away from our whole same routine that we always do," and then it shows the guy like all pissed and throws him out the window. You've all seen that meme,
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I've seen that one. I'll have to look it up later.
I don't know. It was funny, but I did know there was a supernatural element in every game because I read that meme before I got to that point in the game. I just didn't know how out there the supernatural element was.
So I was kind of surprised that we went that route playing this game. I really was, and I felt once you get into like the interior of the German like port that you go to, where it's just hallways and you're trying to find your way through the path and they're jumping out at you, I was like, ooh, this is kind of scary. Like the game is very, I want to say, lighthearted throughout, and then you get in there and you're by yourself, and I was like, ooh, this is almost like a horror game now. Like I just walked into a horror game, and I want to say that it sort of came out of left field. Like it just, to me, was weird that we're at this point where we're jet skiing upstream. And there are dudes like shooting rockets at you and all this and that. And Elena like drops her camera. And then the next thing you know, like you're picking up an MP40 and you're fighting not zombies, but they're kind of zombies. And I was like, wait a minute, where did I just go? The whole thing feels weird. Did you guys experience that at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, totally. It takes a very quick turn.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good way to put it, yeah.
For sure. Actually, when I was replaying this, it reminded me of one of the levels from Last of Us, and I think it might have influenced that area a little bit.
Are they connected? What, is it the same company make them?
Well, yeah, the same, obviously. Come on.
Well, you're saying
I felt the same thing.
There is actually a connection between Uncharted and Last of Us.
The board games and stuff?
Board games.
Yeah, in The Last of Us, there's an Uncharted like board game in one of the stores.
No, there's a paper.
There's a paper? Okay.
There's in the third one.
Oh, okay. Okay. I know what you're saying, hinting at the next game, right?
Yeah.
No, I felt the same thing. I was sort of like, this is sort of skirting The Last of Us territory.
Yeah, so what I was saying was that area, it reminds me of when you have to like walk through that like sewer system in Last of Us, where there's like that guy that ended up he saved all the kids like back in the sewers.
Yeah, it was like a settlement in the sewers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you have to
like,
escape it.
Yeah, you have to escape it because you like finally get to a spot where there's like all the fucking clickers and shit.
And there's the door where you have to defend and the whole thing. Yeah, okay. I see that.
Where you're walking through with the other guy and his son.
His brother. Isn't his brother?
I thought it was his son, Will.
Yeah, I thought it was his brother.
Yeah.
I can. Yeah.
But yeah, it reminded me of that in like a really weird way. I was like, I wonder if this level inspired them to be like, we could do a horror game.
Right. Okay, so now that we talked about the last 3/4 of the game, why don't we do a general sort of picture of the story here? Nathan Drake is a descendant of Sir Francis Drake.
Sir Francis Drake.
Great explorer. And
he's got this girl following him, trying to do a documentary / report story.
I didn't think about it the way it is. It's a guy and a girl, boat and a camera. I didn't.
Didn't Tommy lead to this once?
I didn't really think about it that way.
Well, there was
way less hepatitis C in it.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say, there was
right for the throat.
That giant thing that was like thrown on Doc. It was Dick. And a coffin. See, it's the correlation.
Oh, God.
And then, obviously, Nathan makes some deals and people know where he's at because some trouble afoot.
No, it was Sully that made the deals.
Oh, yeah. But
yeah, it's all Sully's fault.
It seems like Sully has a gambling problem.
A little bit.
No. He honestly, Sully's kind of like Han Solo, where he makes deals with people because he's a smuggler, and then he like backs out on the fucking deals, or he screws people over to try to get rich, and then like it fucks him over, and then he's like, "Oh, I got a lot of debts. Like, oh fuck, I'm so fucked." Like,
I owe a lot of money.
I don't think it's a gambling problem.
Tell Jabba I've got his money.
Tell Jabba. Yeah. Tell him.
Now, I do like the dynamic between Sully and Drake.
Okay.
I think they have a good pairing there. I'm almost positive it was intentional. They have different personalities, but similar goal sets, which make them strong characters to be aligned.
I think they complement each other.
Now,
Yeah.
I will say, Naughty Dog, I feel, has gotten better with developing their characters. These characters are very well written. I don't think they're as deep as the characters in The Last of Us. So I definitely see a timeline of them
You
getting...
can see the progression.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
sure they flesh these characters out better and better as they go through the Uncharted series. That would be my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to say that's
They
true.
absolutely do.
But as just introducing these characters in the franchise, I think they did a very well job. They're very likable characters.
A very well job.
Very well done.
Yeah, that was poor talking.
I think they did a
That was poor talking.
Poor talking.
say like I think they did a great job or something like that.
Yeah, I think they did a great job developing these personalities in this game.
And they could definitely show between the two of them like there's some type of history. It's not just like, it seems blended together.
Yeah, it doesn't like their relationship doesn't fall flat where you think it's just like ancillary to just telling the story.
Yeah,
The way
exactly.
that they interact with each other and the way that they kind of like reference like their history with each other actually makes it feel like there's depth to the story as
yeah.
opposed to like, oh, this seems all flat and like you're just saying this because it's a game type of thing. One thing Naughty Dog does with a lot of their story-driven things is it's very immersive. It makes you get into the game. And I think, like, from their pedigree of making silly platformers to then make this, I think is a crazy, crazy difference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Night and day.
So while we're on the topic of talking about the characters, I wish they would have done a little bit more development of the characters. Like, I definitely know who Sully is. I definitely know who Drake is. But I feel like there was a lot more opportunity to learn more about these people and who they are.
You mean like we don't really know much about Elena? We don't know much about the main villain or who we think is the main villain throughout most of the story, and then we know even less about
Roman.
his henchman that
Navarro.
turns on him. Navarro, thank
Yeah.
you. And then, okay, you just got to kill him now. Like, you're right, unless I missed it, there is not much there about that. But at the same time, I don't think you're really supposed to sit there and think about. Like, I really feel like this game is like run and gun. Like, you're meant to do it in a couple sittings.
Yeah.
It's not that complex.
No, no.
And I think that's by design.
And you could definitely see this turn into like an action movie as well.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make that comparison,
It'd be very easy for them to make an Uncharted movie.
absolutely. They wouldn't even have to change anything. They could just
They've
literally...
been trying to do it for the last 3 years.
I think you're right, actually. I think I did see...
Yeah.
At one point, on and off, they had Nathan Fillion as possibly being
The
Nathan
voice of
Drake.
Nate. I think he's too old now.
He is. They missed their opportunity because he would have been a great Nathan Drake. Anyway,
So, the search for El Dorado.
yeah,
Everyone's
that's-
trying to get rich.
Yep,
Pretty
everyone's
much.
trying to get rich. Everyone's looking for the land of El Dorado,
Correct.
right? That's what it's assumed. It's a area, and during the course of the game, Drake figures out that El Dorado is actually the Golden Man, which is actually what they say, 500-pound statue made of solid gold.
Something like
I,
that, yeah.
I think it was more than like 500 pounds, but something stupid heavy of like solid gold statue.
Yeah, and then
Gilded man.
yeah, the Golden Man. They come to find out later that it's not even just a solid statue; it's more like a sarcophagus.
Right.
And then it kind of like starts to get a little more towards the mysticism at that point, where it goes from being like, oh, this like ancient, it wouldn't be Aztec. What was the
Incan?
Incan.
Incan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the ancient Incan.
But there's even a line there where Sully, I think, is like, hey, is that Incan? And Nate's like, no way, it's much older than that. Which,
Yeah,
I don't
but-
know if he ever
No,
By like
specified.
2,000 years.
Yeah, that was similar. It was a line like that.
Because they were looking at some of the artifacts, and it was that. Oh, it was
Before
like
they
the
went
beginning.
inside or
Yeah,
anything.
because Sully was like, "What is this, Incan?" He's like, "No, this is older by like 2,000 years."
Which, this is probably more gameplay, but I just want to say that whenever I watch a movie or play a game where it's supposed to be an ancient civilization, and there's always like a mechanism that just seems way too complex, or it's like push and pull this stone and then a million rocks move, or something lights on fire. I'm just like, how, why? Like this doesn't add up. Like it really just is silly to me. But And that's one of the things that takes you out of the experience, but that's exactly what this game was going for, situations like that. In Temple of Doom, where they push a button and the ceiling starts to collapse and spikes come down. Like, it's obviously directly inspired by that and is going for that kind of feel. It's just a small aside.
Now, I will say, I don't know how they did it, but like in your typical game, there's a lot of fetch quests. And if you think about it, this game is one big fetch quest. You're just going to find this.
The main quest is a fetch quest.
Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, they really got me interested in going to find this artifact. Like, they actually had me like ready to go, let's go explore. Like, and that's through the storytelling, obviously. But a lot of games start with this premise, hey, let's go do XYZ to achieve. I'm trying to be very generic about it, but a lot of them start off a story this way. Hey, let's go retrieve such and such item. And it usually bores me. But maybe because they had that whole Indiana Jones feel to this game, I don't know, they had me all in right from the get-go. And I think that is through the setup of this story.
I remember reading about like what their design philosophy was for the story for this one. Like I said, like I'm a huge Uncharted fan. Their design philosophy for this is instead of having giant twists, their giant twist is always that there's a supernatural element to it. But the way that they keep people interested is they do subtle twists over and over again, and it makes it feel like you're part of the discovery team. You like the way that they do the camera angles and stuff, they always have a third person in all of the shots. All of their stuff is mocapped, and they always are putting the camera angle. They do like this like weird like filming technique where it feels like where they have the height and everything of the camera angles pretty much all the time is like you're standing there and you're viewing it. They take like an average height and use it as a cameraman for all of their mocap, and it makes the angles feel like you are standing there watching this happen. So when there's a subtle twist, you're like, oh yeah, we just discovered that. Like, it's just like a subtle trick in your brain. It's something that I really thought was interesting, and like honestly, it's what makes them innovators.
So that's in all of the Uncharted games, including this one?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't know if I noticed, but I'm saying it's not there, but that's really interesting.
Anytime they're having like a dialogue, it's always like if there's a far off shot. I'm talking about like when they're like standing like we are now, or when we're sitting, but like when they do shots like that, the shots never over here where it wouldn't be like someone sitting in a chair, if that makes sense. If the three of you were just having a conversation, the camera would be like my eyesight at my height.
It wouldn't be like a top-down perspective,
right?
Top
it
of
would
your
be
head, somewhere you
a lot of
be.
the interesting things happen in this camera angle where it's like, you know, looking back between the three of you having this conversation like you're a fourth person sitting there.
So maybe
sitting there.
Subconsciously, Harry, you were getting more invested because of that perspective trick. It's funny you said that, like the little twists. I thought you were going to say
Quentin Tarantino does that as well. That's actually something that Quentin Tarantino does a lot. Is he puts the camera at face height and eyesight height
of the first person, so it's just you're even more immersed in it.
Yep.
It's tricky.
Like, you think about that, just for another example of this, you think about that scene from Inglourious Bastards.
When they're sitting at the table in the beginning?
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, and it's literally all they're doing is going back and forth between a
Monsieur l'Appetit.
Yeah, but it's literally when you're looking at him, it's the eyesight level and the height, and they literally had the cameraman sit in that chair focusing on the Nazi general, I forget his name, and then when it was looking at the house owner, it was someone sitting in that exact same chair at eye level with the camera, and it makes for tension. It makes for these really interesting things, and I
that's subtle. I didn't think about it.
It's something that they've always done in the Naughty Dog's done it in all of their narrative stuff. Last of Us does it too, but it's something that's really interesting, and not a lot of games do that. A lot of games do this whole, like, we're up here looking at the action. No, they bring you down here and you're talking.
I assume someone on the production team then has a film background, or they studied film.
I'm honestly not sure. They could have literally just adapted it from other things that they saw. Like, I mean, Tarantino does that a lot.
Gotcha. What I was trying to say earlier is I thought you were going to say that you're really invested in the discovery, because you go to a location and you don't find El Dorado, but you find something that'll lead you to the next area, which is very video gamey, but you're still learning a little piece of the puzzle or adding to it, or it keeps you fresh on the trail to try to figure out what happened, which is almost as interesting as actually finding it.
It's not going to give you everything right away, but it's giving you enough to still keep that interest in there and to keep wanting to be like, all right, well, we're still, like you said, we're still kind of on the track for it. Now you're curious on what the next little thing is going to be to try to get you the big picture without necessarily just wanting the whole big picture, boom, right away.
I think a lot of it, even setting like the storyline aside, the journey was a story of itself.
By design, of course.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was well implemented into this game. I think that's the point I was trying to boil it down to. It just took me a while to kind of get there.
I think the pacing and how they pace out the action versus the interesting dialogue versus the puzzles. Because like a lot of games do this same formula where it's action, puzzle, reward. Action, puzzle, reward. Action, puzzle, reward. They do that over and over again.
I do want to touch on this when we get into the gameplay, but I feel like it breaks down to 4 parts in this game. Your action parts, where you're fighting enemies.
Yeah.
You got your puzzle parts, where you're trying to solve a puzzle with the book. You have your
climbing
or jumping puzzles almost.
Yeah.
Almost like your
platforming. Yeah.
Parkour.
And then, so that's usually like the consistency of a level. It's just what's good about it, like you were getting on, they rearrange it sometimes.
Yes.
Yep.
They constantly rearrange
Yeah, it's not
That's
just 1 or 1 2 3. It's like sometimes it's 1 3 2. 2 2 2 2 1. But, I mean, it's like all over the place.
Yeah, they constantly are changing this formula over and over again, and it keeps it fresh.
Right.
And it keeps it going.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just want to finish that point. It's more gameplay, but the 4th part I was going to say is like a vehicle level.
I mean, honestly, I think we should move into gameplay at this point. I think it's the natural progression.
Yeah, let's do it.
Does anyone else have anything to say about the story?
I like that both characters, Sully and Drake, were comic relief. It wasn't just that one character that you always look to.
Well, okay, there is something I did want to say, which is, while this is supposed to be like Indiana Jones, or an homage to it, and everything's lighthearted, I realized this in the second Uncharted, and it's still prevalent in this one. It's probably the same throughout, but I sort of think of Nathan Drake as a heroic character, even though he is less like an archaeologist and more like a grave robber, which, again, he inherits from Indiana Jones. But I stopped and thought about it. Like, he's just a normal guy trying to get this treasure, but he's a goddamn murder machine.
Yeah.
Like, I checked my stats. I killed 700 enemies to find El Dorado. And when you think of Nathan Drake, you don't think of him as a villain or as a bad guy. But in terms of the way the games work, he's a cold-blooded fucking killer.
He does kill a lot of people.
He does.
I can't put this in any other category other than story, but like, with that revelation, does that change your perspective at all when you think about it? Like, okay, Joel's a killer. No problem. The world's gone to shit. It's a serious story, The Last of Us, but Uncharted is lighthearted and fun, and hey, let's get in the vehicle, and I'm going to murder everybody who's on a four-wheeler.
Do you think Indiana Jones is a cold-blooded killer?
Well, that's the thing. So I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, well, who does he kill that's not associated with the Nazis or an evil cult?
Okay, it's the same thing with Drake. Drake's not killing innocents.
Pirates?
Yeah, pirates and mercenaries.
Pirates and
mercenaries. And fucking weird Spanish zombies.
Yeah. Spanish zombies.
Ghouls.
I mean, you're not wrong. And pirates are not...
Ghouls.
Pirates are not good people, by definition. But I sort of stopped and was like, I'm just trying to find, like, gold, you know? Here I am murdering all the, like, squad after squad of people. And some of it's in self-defense, I'm sure. But to me, it doesn't feel right. Like, Indiana Jones kills a couple Nazis, or he fires his gun on a tank and kills 3. Like, I don't care. But in this game, it's like, I killed 700 people to ultimately find nothing. It just...
He loves gold.
Oh, that's right. No, they did get a little bit of gold at the end, yeah.
A little bit.
All right, that's all I wanted to say.
That was a
like
lot
a
of
pallet
gold.
full
Yeah.
of gold.
Well, compared to El Dorado, it's. In my
I'd still
opinion,
say that was a pretty good take.
Yeah, but
Sure.
the jewels they have come without death.
Yeah. You don't open one and die.
Yeah, I really would have preferred if the end of the game you had the choice to let Elena die, or keep El Dorado for yourself. I think at that point in the story you should have been able to choose your ending.
I agree.
You agree, Clark?
Yep.
You
100%.
totally agree? You agree? Okay, yeah. All right, well, that's all I got for story.
Such a dick. Cool. Gameplay it is, guys.
Gameplay.
I love the level where you're driving the Jeep.
Are you kidding?
I love that level.
That was so easy.
And it was a fun,
it was
fucking,
fun.
yeah, just explosions and just like I even liked the
Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much.
I was living the Michael Bay movie.
Watch out for the cliff. I said watch out for the cliff.
I don't know. I thought it was a really cool level.
It was a breath of fresh air, and I expected there to be another one in the game, and it wasn't. And I don't think the jet ski levels really
Ugh.
they don't qualify.
The
in the
upriver
same
one
way.
was fucking atrocious.
That was
rough.
That was
pretty-
a pain in the ass.
That was tough.
Especially when you're about to go up this waterfall. Up, barrel's coming. You try to stop your jet ski.
Nope.
And then you're starting to spin, and then you're trying to speed up to get over this bump, but then it turns you around, and before you know it, you're all the way down the river again. It was just like, what the fuck?
Yep.
I didn't think it was too bad.
The
for
key
jet
to that
ski.
level is never stop. Never stop moving.
Just go, 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 go.
See, I stopped a lot.
See, I would always do it, and then I would kind of because you can aim your camera a little bit. There's no crosshair, but you can aim your camera, so you just do quick
Boom.
aim fire and
Boom.
just keep going. That's how I got through that level. That's the worst level in the game.
Huh? Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, okay,
I
yeah.
like the gunplay and stuff in this. I mean, it's not the greatest. Again, it reminds me a lot of The Last of Us because it's the exact same engine.
Okay.
Honestly,
Hold on a second. I don't think the cover system works that well in this game.
I mean, it's okay.
what do you mean?
Crickets.
It's a simple
Crickets.
system.
It's a
Yeah.
very simple cover system, but I found myself wanting to transition from one space to another and it just not working, or I'm running around in a circle, or I can tell, even if it didn't have a number or a title, this is the first Uncharted game because this was their first go at it. And in the second one, they've made a lot of innovations, is the way that I feel from this. And I'm not saying that's
sure.
really a bad thing, but to me, the cover system was rudimentary. And the gameplay for the shooting, I found to actually be a bit annoying.
Okay.
And what I mean is every enemy from the first till the end, where it's even worse, they're very bullet spongy. I should not be
Little
able to
bit.
put 2 AK rounds into some fat dude with a shotgun and he's still charging me. That's not a thing.
Shotgun
And I know.
guys wear body armor.
Okay. Well, I'm not looking
gotta aim for
like
the face.
Thanks. Well, hold on.
No, I'm dead serious.
No.
If you aim for the face, it's one shot, one kill.
Well, that's why I eventually adapted to, because at first I was like, okay, I'm just going to center mass these guys. Dut, 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 dut. Oh, he's dead. No, wait, no, he's not. Dut, dut, dut. No, he's dead. No, he's not. He's still shooting me. What the fuck? Dut, dut, dut. Okay, they're dead. I got to the point where I was like, all right, I get it. I just have to go for a headshot almost every single time. And once that sort of as soon as my gameplay evolved to that, I started to have more fun. And of course, they throw in mercenaries and body armor and all that later. But I mean, just the first level pirates, I just felt like they were all really bullet spongy to the point where I would just go for the headshot whenever I could.
Did you notice anything about the accuracy in the game?
It seemed a little off.
It's off until you hit about the halfway point.
Okay.
So it's a natural progression. So, and I made these points during The Last of Us. All right, and just hear me out again. In Uncharted, because there's no leveling system, it goes from you not being super experienced with a gun to becoming experienced with the gun,
Because you start as
to
an
being
everyman.
like an expert with the gun towards the end of the game. And your natural accuracy and slow reticle movement becomes less and less. In the beginning of the game, if you aim and just sit there,
Yeah.
he kind of moves.
Okay.
Which is exactly how Last of Us is until you put points into it, and then you slowly get to the point where you can just draw a bead. That is, I really honestly and I truly, now that you guys have all played Uncharted 1, you guys can see the reference that I was trying to make in the Last of Us podcast, where The Last of Us gun, like the aiming of a pistol in that game is the exact same as Uncharted. It's just you have to spend points into it to get the progression, the same progression.
All right.
But like the reticle's even the same.
The circle?
Yeah, the circle instead of the fucking crosshair, which I hate, by the way.
The circle or the crosshair.
I love a crosshair. I hate the circle.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I didn't pick up the progression of aiming in this game, to be completely honest with you. It felt the same throughout, personally. So maybe it's just a smidge of differences here and there.
It's small. It is small. It's a small difference.
What was I going to say? I thought, okay, I know you were comparing it to Last of Us. I felt this was more similar to Max Payne 3, personally. Just the whole cover system, just take away the bullet time, and I feel like it's essentially Max Payne 3.
If Max Payne 3 was a Saturday morning cartoon, maybe.
Yeah, I just... No. Like, even the shooting mechanics, I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
Because I think that there aren't bullet spongy enemies in Max Payne 3. Like,
right.
Max Payne, you hit somebody in the face, their fucking head explodes. In this, you literally have to hit them center mass in the face to kill them. And if not, you can hit them in the neck or the fucking chest. It doesn't matter. You have to hit them in the fucking face to down them.
Aim for the mouth.
Hit it with your mouth, David.
Hit it with your mouth. But, like...
I will agree with the enemies. Just the whole cover system and the shooting felt more like...
But I mean, the cover system in shooting is done in a lot of things. Like,
do you play a lot of third-person shooters where you use cover?
A couple, not a ton.
Maybe that's why.
It's pretty common. Like the whole cover system.
Oh no! I agree. It just like I remember not being able to transition well in Max Payne 3 either. Like the way you were talking, like if you wanted to round a corner or something like that, or because it would say a lot of times like if you hit like up and circle, you would transition to like piece of terrain like in front of you, but that like never worked for me.
No, that's not how it works in this one. This one doesn't have a cover to cover system. It only has vaulting. You only vault out of cover.
That's what I mean then, is that
there's no cover to cover system in this.
It's rudimentary.
It's it's not as groundbreaking as like Gears
of War.
Dude, Gears, you could be like, I want to go to that fucking spot. I'm going to press X and you just fucking book it. But I will agree, Max Payne is the same way. It does not have a cover-to-cover system. It's you cover stick, and then you have to get unstuck from the wall. But I think in Max Payne 3, it's as soon as you move the stick, you're off the cover. Whereas in this, I felt it was really sticky. No, seriously.
Sentence. If you could hear yourself.
No, like
I know what you're saying. I know
thought
exactly
the wall
what you're
was
saying.
really sticky. Like you'd put your back to it,
Those damn Spaniards.
and then you'd have to like press and hold almost to come off of the wall.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
A lot of times I just wanted to run and gun and felt that you're penalized for that because of your low health and they're forcing the cover system, but it was a pain in the neck. The highlights for me for the gameplay were, somebody dropped a Magnum, boom, watch that ragdoll, boom, watch that ragdoll.
Oh, yeah, the fucking Magnum was the
hilarious.
Let's talk about our favorite weapons.
Okay.
I'd like to do that, and then we can kind of maybe move on. I feel like...
Maybe we should talk about some of the puzzles.
We have to talk about the climbing. We have to talk about the climbing and the puzzles.
Favorite weapons.
If it wasn't the Magnum, it was the shotgun. I just love blasting.
I didn't like the shotgun,
the
actually.
spats.
Yeah, I didn't like the shotgun either.
I don't know why. I think it's just because I always like to shoot guys from as far away as possible in this game. I didn't like to get up close and personal because I just end up dead. And I hated using melee. Like, I never used it. And apparently there are stealth kills in the first game. I knew there was stealth in the second one, but I didn't see an opportunity to use stealth at all.
It is a little
So they
seldom,
they
but
don't
you can.
really allow you to sneak in this one.
No, they don't.
You just have to seize the opportunity when it comes up, because there's a few where the enemies haven't noticed you yet. Someone has their back turned, and you can just creep up behind them and start snapping necks.
Yeah, you like jump on their back and fucking snap their neck.
They didn't give you They didn't give you an area to test it out, like a tutorial of stealth kills. You know, like usually the first one in a game, they'll be like, now go up and hit this button, and they'll just set up like a dummy character just for you to just fucking crack their neck. They didn't have that in this game.
It's funny you say that because I think I said it earlier, but after I beat Uncharted, I decided to just transition right into Uncharted 2, and I played the first 4 levels in that, and in that one, I remember there being a stealth level, which I didn't like at all when I played it at that time. But having played the first game and doing that, I was like, oh, this is a cakewalk. And it actually was a lot of fun. So there was like a level dedicated to stealth in the sequel, and it's fleshed out more. But in the first one, I don't no. Why do stealth? No, I can't see a reason. It doesn't lend itself to it at all. I had to look into my statistics to see that there actually was tracking on stealth kills, and it said, when am I supposed to use stealth? But I'd have to say that it's either the Desert Eagle or the revolver Magnum. I mean, anytime I got that, I would just immediately use it. Like at first I was like, let me save it and I'll hold on to it, or I'll hold on to it and hoard the ammo, but they're so infrequent. I was just like, you know what? Forget the pistol. Pistols are everywhere. Forget the AK. The AK's everywhere. I'm just going to grab this, boom, and use it until I'm out of ammo and move on. Those are my favorite weapons. I mean, I liked the sniper rifle too, but it was pretty infrequent.
Mm-hmm. I personally like the M4. I like rapid fire or like assault rifles in games, and that one was a super accurate one. It felt like the AK was kind of all over the place, like when you shot it. But no, the M4 just, you get a bead on a character and just.
And it would down most people in like 3 or 4 shots too.
Yep.
It did more damage than the AK for sure.
Definitely.
Which is not realistic to real life, but I digress.
Right.
Digressing.
I was a fan of the Magnum. The Magnum. I actually used pistols whenever I could in that game. I felt like they were more accurate than the rifles.
Okay, I can see what you're saying.
I'm the same way. Even if it was, like the Eagles or what was the other ones?
There was a Beretta, and there was it sort of looked like a Tokarev. It looked like a Russian pistol, but they called it something else. The first pistol in the game. Something
that drove me nuts. This is more in design, but he had a holster for 2 handguns. The thing he was wearing.
He has no, the other one's clips, I think. The other one's magazines.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, why can't I pick up a second handgun? Why can't I pick up a second handgun?
You wanted it to be Max Payne.
I did. I did.
Bullet time, Nathan Drake.
Jesus.
Did anyone think any of the puzzles were like hard at all?
In general, I thought the game was easy. The puzzles didn't stump me.
Yeah, the puzzles are super easy.
I mean, if you play enough puzzle games, you kind of get it. It's like, oh, here's the pictures. They each have a number next to it. I should just find the pictures and hit it in this order. Oh,
they're all straightforward.
I did like the use of the book for all of the puzzles. I thought that was a really cool, just and like, you press the button and you just see him like pull it out and flip it open, and like it's not just a quick menu. It's just like
it was a neat little side cut.
Yeah, like it was a really cool. I thought it was an interesting way to give you hints and have you remember stuff from the puzzles.
Hints. So the hint system in this is very similar to Last of Us. Sorry, we keep talking about it, but I always get annoyed.
Look, it's hard not to compare this to The Last of Us since we already reviewed it. I totally get it.
Yeah. But you guys know what I mean. Like, okay, let's say the path isn't completely... It's not an open archway where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to do next. So you spend some time trying to figure it out on your own. Well, then the hint system is like, hint? Do you need a hint? You want to in 30 seconds since you did the right thing. Do you need the hint? It's there if you want it. It just, to me, I was like, fine, fuck it. Boop. Oh, there's that thing that doesn't look at all like anything I should interact with. Let me use it. Like when you have to use the rope in, I don't know, the second or third mission. So, and I thought you were going to climb the rope, but no, you're knocking over another thing so you can climb onto that, and then you have to, the QuickTime events. You have to dodge the pallet of stone from squashing it. The QuickTime events in this I thought were really specific. Like they didn't need to be slow or anything, but it was just like, I think I missed most of them at least once. No? Just me?
I missed
not all of them.
I definitely got squashed by the pallet of stones.
I think that's the first one.
Yeah, that is the first one.
Yes, I got killed by that too because I forgot that QuickTime events were in the game.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. I'm just sitting there, I'm watching it, and then it's just, I'm thinking it's just like a little cutscene thing, and then it starts dropping, and then I notice the circle button in the lower left-hand corner. I'm like, oh shit, I need to, oh fuck, he's a pancake.
Nope.
Yeah, I put my controller down because there was a video, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have a sip of beer. Oh yeah, QuickTime events. As I had the beer in my mouth, tilted,
screen goes gray.
It's weird that I find it odd that so many companies need to put QuickTime events in their games.
So I will say this: the QuickTime events in this one are dumb. Naughty Dog makes real good use of the QuickTime events later.
Yeah, they were great for Heavy Rain.
That game was all QuickTime events.
That game was not
Yeah.
Naughty Dog.
No.
Yep.
So I like
anyway,
that game though. Let's not trash that.
I'm not. I like Heavy Rain. I don't know what this fucking Joker.
I haven't played it.
I
Really?
I like light drizzle.
Yeah, he's fucking talking shit. Like he's
Oh,
just over here
God.
talking shit.
Isn't there,
fuck outta
isn't
here,
there,
that's
isn't there
all he
like a
does.
isn't there like a QuickTime sex scene in that game?
Yeah.
QuickTime everything. In
What's
Yeah.
his son's name?
Ethan.
No. The Jason. Jason.
Oh yeah, his name.
Jason.
Ethan.
Sorry.
Jason.
Jason. There's only like 2 audio clips for it.
Jason. Anyway, the QuickTime events in this game are not that great.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't like
could have done without them.
The QuickTime events in the next couple of games are way better.
Yeah.
And they make a better use of them. They make them feel more impactful.
Gotcha. Instead of just feeling like, oh, it's there, just to kind
And
of
it's
mix
not
it up a
always
little bit.
just circle either.
Oh,
There was a
mixing it
triangle
up.
in this one.
I didn't see a triangle.
Yeah, those were for like opening doors or
No.
turning the cranks.
When you what the hell is his name that you're fighting at? Is it Navarro?
I don't
at the
know.
end?
At the end, yeah,
Is it Navarro?
You have to hit square first and then triangle.
yeah, but that's because that's his combo.
Oh yeah,
That's the brutal.
That's a QuickTime event though.
The brutal
Yeah,
combo.
yeah, but you're just doing a
QTEs.
slow-mo brutal combo.
Bop, boop, bop.
Yep, square, triangle, square.
What else were we going to talk about? The climbing?
I think the best thing.
I like climbing.
climbing fun.
Climbing is cool.
I think the best thing about the climbing is that they show the environment, like the crazy angles they give you when you're doing the climbing.
yes.
Yeah, sometimes you lose the camera. You lose control of the camera and it becomes you're fixed on the
Yeah, but I'm not saying it in a negative way.
Okay.
It's a good time to show off the environments. Like
was-
when you're on the cliff side.
Oh yeah, and then it kind of pans back out, and then you can see like it's where you're not necessarily right on top of Drake, but you can see like some of like the extensive wall and the vines, and some of the forest that more jungle.
Yeah,
that
I'm
might be
talking more
behind it.
specifically like the scenery. I think it was that was their time to show off how well they can design environments. To be completely honest, with you.
Gotcha. You know, the one that stands out to my mind is early on. I think the next mission is called the Fortress because it's when you're getting into the fortress.
Yes.
But you're walking on a cliff and the camera's just like, all right, I'm going to take the reins here. And it starts to slowly back up. And then you have to go through that whole thing. Because I remember dying a couple times because I'd like to get into a groove with the momentum. And if I missed a jump and you see Drake fall and ragdoll, which is always funny, it would start again. So I think that's before you start to go into like windows and things. And I don't know the name of the level. Sorry. I think it's either level 2 or 3, but there's the one where you start heading towards the sort of the end of the cliff and the camera just starts to back off and it becomes clear that you have to climb now. I think the climbing in this game is great.
I think it's pretty well done.
I
Yeah,
liked it. I
for
enjoyed
sure.
it. Either that or just always trying to run up to a wall, wondering if I can climb it to see its little hop.
His hop is pathetic if you don't grab onto something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell that you're not in the right spot when he hops.
Yeah, because he does. It's not even like a jump. He literally just gets like 6 inches off the ground. I want that ledge.
It's like a little kid at a counter.
Yeah.
Great Nathan Fillion
I want the
impression, guys.
lollipop.
All right, so were there any climbing environments that stand out to you guys? I mentioned the one. Anything that jumps out at you?
There was a couple times where it looked kind of weird. Like a ledge would be like at a weird angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the character model, you see him like jump across, but it's like
Oh, I know
you
what you
jump
mean.
too far, but then all of a sudden he's hanging on that ledge or something like that. Like it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like any of them that had the false grips on it because it gave you that little bit of sense of urgency because it's like you're moving through, you see it like rattle or you hear it cracking and you have to quick jump to the next one. Then yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty much done with climbing, but there was 2 other points I wanted to talk about gameplay.
For puzzles?
We already
sorry.
talked
we,
about
did,
puzzles,
we
sorry.
pretty much did puzzles. I don't think.
What do you got, Harry?
The one thing I really liked. There's one thing I like and one thing I don't like. The one thing I liked, and we were talking about this earlier, the comparison with the other players playing. It would, in the moment, not in a secret
Oh, the
menu.
leaderboard?
The leaderboard.
Yeah.
But it would
Yeah.
pop up when you do things. It wouldn't just be like, oh, you got to search through the menu system or something like that. It would just be like, I just got a headshot. Oh, you're 2 behind Ralph. Or you just passed Clark, or something like that. Like it showed your.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
And when they pop up,
He's giving me a dirty look.
and I would see like I'm only 1 or 2 behind somebody else, I made that my fucking mission to dethrone that person
It's
off
like
of that
I gotta
list.
beat them. It's like I can beat this game, but I can still beat them.
And to clarify, that is exclusive to the collection, the edition
Right.
for the PS4. That I don't think that's in the PS3 in any way. I don't think that that's a thing.
I thought it was a cool little add-on and a little like side project while you're playing through the game.
Speaking of which, the treasures.
That's the point I was gonna say that I don't like.
Go
What
ahead.
a shitty way to innovate you into playing multiple playthroughs. Oh, you didn't get all 60 treasures? Play again? Question mark? I feel like that was their way to get you to like play more than one time so you can 100% the game. And they're just out in the open, spark. Like it wasn't like it's like, oh shit, I better check behind that rock. Oh, I found a fucking treasure.
No, there was definitely some of that stuff. It definitely required exploration.
But it's not fun exploration. It's just,
It's-
here's the area that you
it's
just did
not.
this battle. Do you see something flashing? Go after it.
Yeah.
I think I got about 25 of them.
Okay.
How about you guys?
I
Or
got
60.
10 to 15 this time. I had 60 on PS4 or PS3.
Nice. I didn't make it a goal to get them all.
No, I think I had like 28 or 30. It wasn't a whole. It was maybe half of them.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think I was just under 30.
What is nice is when you beat the game, though, you can go back and go into the levels.
Okay.
You
I
can
thought you were
shoot-
going
yeah,
to say,
so-
like, oh, what's nice is you can go back and try to collect them all.
You can do treasure select.
Okay.
And it'll tell you, like, oh, you have this many treasures out of this many treasures in that level.
Oh,
You can get
okay.
all the treasures in the Jeep level, Harry. You can go back and play again.
I like that cheap level. So, though, that I'm basically done discussing gameplay at this point. All right. Graphics, guys.
Graphics.
Graphic.
All right. Graphics, guys.
This game is fucking gorgeous.
Well, I think we need to say that we all played, obviously, the PS4 version. I don't
Yep.
know how great the PS3 version looked. Personally, I don't know that.
It's not much of a graphical upgrade.
Really?
If that makes you feel any
What
better
about the
it.
lighting? Is the lighting the same?
Yeah.
Okay, because there were some moments where the lighting, to me, I was really impressed with what I was seeing. And-
Dude, it's not much. I mean, literally, when they say remaster, it like they've redubbed some of the sounds so that it could be in like a better, like I think they did like 7.1 surround
surround
sound
sound 7.1 instead of 5.1.
and stuff like that. But yeah, like they didn't do a lot to this game. This game is pretty much the one that I played on PS3.
Okay. Having said that, the game does look great, I think. I noticed that, and this is a Naughty Dog thing, when you go to a cutscene, you can sometimes see that the quality of the video dips a little bit, but I didn't see any of that here. It's really noticeable in The Last of Us, I think.
Yeah,
But for this,
it's a crap game.
and I don't...
Oh, fuck off. You've been taking shots at me all night.
taking shots at The Last of Us, take a shot at me, that's fine.
It's cool. If I was taking a shot in The Last of Us, I'd probably miss anyway.
No, you would have shot Ellie. You would have shot Ellie.
I would have. You're damn right I would have.
At least then he can get the ending
Ashley
he
Johnson,
wanted.
no. I didn't really see that same
hold
issue.
on. Sorry. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Real quick. Your lady friend was in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah,
Infinite.
Ashley Birch?
Ashley
Yes,
Birch,
Ashley
yeah.
Birch.
Who'd she voice? Do you know?
I fucking forget.
You just heard her voice and you recognize it?
No, we saw
No,
it in the
she
credits.
was in the credits. Was
Oh.
it Morgana? Maybe.
She might have been Morgana.
Look, I'm just saying I think she's a great voice actress
Yeah.
and she's
Yeah, you
going
got a horror
straight
movie.
up.
We saw it in
She was the voice
It
of
just
the
makes you go straight up.
she was the voice of the girl in Horizon Zero Dawn. I think her career is only going up.
Well,
Anyway,
Like
you,
your
you can
penis.
know that we think of you outside of the podcast. We saw that rolling through the credits. We're like, oh, it's Ralph's girl.
okay.
It's that chick that he likes.
Whoa, why are you getting mad at it?
Yeah, why are you
I'm
getting
not
mad?
mad.
We're
I'm
just
not
pointing
mad.
something
Why are you
out.
mad?
Just
dude?
you're just teasing me. I'm
Why-
not mad.
Dude,
You guys
why are you
just teasing
mad?
me.
We're
Ralph.
not teasing. She's actually
Ralph,
in
calm
the
down.
game.
She is in the game.
I'm calm. I'm calm.
I'll find out who it is so you can masturbate to it later.
I met her dad. He's cool.
That's a weird thing to say.
She had a
That's-
YouTube show, and I saw the whole family at a convention.
So what were
That's
you saying about the graphics there, Ralph?
What I was trying to say is that when you get to a cutscene and it's clear that you're not in the in-game engine anymore, sometimes you can see that a little bit of a depreciation in the quality of the HD footage, basically. In this, I guess it's part of the collection, maybe not, but it seemed very much diminished from The Last of Us, especially the PS3 version of The Last of Us. So Naughty Dog really, it looks like they really tried to clean that up for this.
Over the years, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, no, cutting in between, I think they actually did a pretty decent job for it, for, at least what it was. We don't know if it was like that much graphically different from PS3. I know Clark said it's basically the same, but I think just the depth that they put into like the backgrounds and with the colors and making everything, work cohesively, where it didn't seem like it was like mushed and like blended in a bad way. I think they really did a good job with that, especially with like the jungle. The jungle was just gorgeous.
So, Harry, did you have anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a couple different levels here. The environments, I think, if I had to pick out something graphically, I think it was top notch. I think Naughty Dog is just really good at making distinct and beautiful environments in every game that I've played so far. I just think they look spot on, well done. Just the way, when you're hitting some of those, like when you get to the castle, I think there was or the fort rather, it was starting to become like a sunset, and the way they had the orange sun hitting the walls and everything like that. It just looked really good. Their environments are just very pretty looking.
I really liked the U-boat in the Amazon.
Yeah, so it looks like it's darker on PS4.
Yeah. I really liked that I could walk up to the very front of the ship and spin the camera. I did that actually, and I recorded it. I thought that was the first time I sort of sat back and was like, wow, this is great.
Oh, like when you were able to go all the way out on the bow, like where the one treasure was?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought the character models looked really good, especially for the main protagonist and antagonist. The main characters of this game, I thought were very well done. The character models for the enemies became very repetitive.
Very repetitive, yeah.
The guy with the grenade launcher, he had that tan vest on, and I think the sunglasses for literally every...
Who was the guy with the red shirt, or is it in a vest? Is it the same guy?
Maybe. I don't know. But if they had a lot of the character models, just by looking at them, you knew what kind of weapon that they had.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If that makes sense.
You started to learn and keep that fresh in your mind as you played.
Exactly. So I think they could have used a little bit more diversity, or... Yeah, I guess that's the word I'm looking for.
I was thinking about that, but then I realized that that's pretty much a gaming staple. I try to compare it with Bloodborne, and it's you can tell that certain enemies, just on their look, I think it's just a gaming thing.
Yeah, but even the townsfolk in Bloodborne, they all look different. They're basically the same state of metamorphosis, I guess, transforming into the werewolves, but they had different clothes on. Some had beards, some had raggedy hair. They were all slightly different. They weren't copy paste.
All right, I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
You're right.
But overall, I thought the look of the game was just fantastic. I mean, hats off. I think they really know how. I think more than almost any other company out there, they know how to design their environments that make them just so appealing to the eye.
I gotta say, I'm really excited for you guys who haven't played the next one.
What was that?
My phone. My apologies.
Is that
said chicken in the microwave? Take the foil off.
Oh, she's Chun-Li. Okay. I'm surprised you guys recognized her voice or recognized her name.
We just remember you had a hard
do
on
I
for her.
do I talk about her that much?
You do.
Shit.
Any time that she comes up.
Shit.
Who did she play in the game then?
Well, I like Ashley Johnson just as much. Chun-Li.
Chun-Li.
Oh.
I'm really excited for you guys, actually, because the next one is so much more. Uncharted 2 it's the last game I ever traded in, actually. And I've always regretted that I did it. But now I have it.
There you go.
Right.
Did you have anything for graphics? Or
I already said my piece.
did you? Oh, okay. My apologies.
The last thing I want to say is that I was surprised for this game that we went to the jungle and we sort of stayed in the jungle the whole time.
I was okay with it, though. There's different areas of the jungle. You go in the caves, you go in these little forts.
I know.
The environments were different enough, but still on the island. It made you feel like you were still on the island.
Right. I want to say there's continuity there, but what I mean is what I was expecting was, okay, we're going to be here for a bit, then we're going to go to geographically a different area, then we're going to get in the plane and go somewhere else. I thought it was going to be more of an international story, not we go to one island, or we do travel from one point to another, but once we get there, that's it. we're stuck there for the rest of the game. I just thought there would be more traveling, more variety in the environments.
I did like how they showed the transition at the very end of the game when he opened up El Dorado and like breathed in the curse and then like slowly just saw it like kind of take over him.
Yeah.
I thought that was neat, just the way they kind of showed that, the way they did that.
It's like almost instantaneous.
Yeah, that did it really didn't take
pretty
long.
quick.
It's like, watch what it does.
All right, cool. So let's talk music and sound of this game.
Music.
I hate the fucking cricket noise.
The cricket noise.
There was a cricket noise in a lot of the levels that didn't even sound like a cricket.
I think that was just a cricket in your house the entire time.
I don't remember a cricket noise.
No,
I don't
think,
remember a cricket noise
I think it was a poorly done sound effect. But that's my only gripe as far as the the sound goes. I thought the voice acting was pretty spot on.
Harry might have had a cricket in his house.
Telling you.
Muffled under something.
I even like the dialogue when you throw a grenade to like a pack of enemies. They're all like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
Oops. Like they say something like, "I'm in big trouble now." Like something a little ridiculous, not like sheer panic.
Well, that's like him going, it's like, that's not good. That's not good. There's just like putting in like the little quips.
I don't know how much of it is scripted and how much of it is ad-libbing by Nathan Fillion, but I really feel like he just knocks Nathan Drake out of the park, the role, in terms of voicing him. I have to agree that the voice acting I think is great. I really like the guy who does Sully too. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I'd like
He's
him.
always good.
He really kind of like that. The voice was like perfect for the character.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny that the bad guy is like British, which is like a thing for the genre. But the music, I want to say that, the standard sort of Uncharted theme is pretty well known. But there were a few levels, and I tried to find them before we recorded.
It's not Nathan Fillion.
That's the movie. That's Spider-Man. There's no way that kid was voicing Nathan Drake in 2007. It's Tom Holland. He plays Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I will retract my statement if I'm wrong, but I thought for sure that he was the voice of Drake.
Well, apparently the movie is being made with Tom Holland.
He's way too fucking young.
To be Nathan Drake?
Yeah. What was I saying? I lost my thought now. Oh, the music. So the standard Uncharted theme was good. When you said to me, because we were playing and you sent me a text.
Nolan North.
Ah, fuck! What the hell?
Everyone said because he acts and sounds like Nathan Fillion.
All
And
right,
Nathan Fillion
listeners,
was
I'm
rumored.
sorry, I was wrong. Nolan North is the voice of Nathan Drake, and I just lost all credibility with my audience. Sorry.
It's cool. Nolan North is probably one of the best male voice actors in video games. He does a lot of work. Him and Troy Baker now.
Troy Baker, yeah.
I mean, I should have corrected you earlier, actually, because I just thought about this now, but Nolan North has played Drake in every single one of the...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. It's the same guy.
Because him and Troy Baker did 4, and Troy Baker did 3 voices in that game.
He plays brother?
Yeah.
Should have figured.
Spoiler. What? Thanks, guys.
What?
Thanks.
That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, that's not a spoiler.
I didn't know that was
I saw that in a
thing.
trailer that his brother is in the 4th game. I didn't say who he is.
We'll get him in the parking lot, Harry.
Stab in his ear.
Now go. Let the legend come back to life. What I was trying to say is that the Uncharted theme is pretty standard. Sounds good. You hear it in all the games. But there were a few moments where I was just like running from one place to another, and the music really sort of surprised me with how good it was. And just simple notes, simple themes. When we were texting, and you mentioned, I feel like I just walked into Predator. I was like, there were a couple times where the music, because of the jungle setting, sounded like the music to Predator. Unless I'm crazy. It's been a little bit since I watched it, but it's pretty much etched in my memory. I have to say that that's a choice that they did. Like the music to Predator, their normal Uncharted theme, and then just a couple ambient tracks here or there that I couldn't find out specifically what they were when I searched the track listings. But I think the music overall is good. It's not like exceptional, like I'm not down on my hands and knees bowing or anything, but it's very good for the first game in the series.
I agree. The theme is kind of sticks with you a little bit. A lot of the actual just sound direction in general sounds really good every time you're taking a footstep, on the differences between walking on grass and walking on dirt and walking on like rubble and things like that. Like The different guns sound actually different based on the caliber of shot that you're using.
The Magnum and shotgun, you're shooting thunder.
Yeah, pretty much. I, in general, think it's a very sound game. And the voice acting, again, is incredible. I really think that, like, the voices fit the people.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I wanted to say something about Elena. The voice matches the character model, and the personality it comes through. All their personalities come through so well. It's very well directed. Those scenes and the voice acting is very well directed. There's no amateur doing that shit.
Minor gripe. I don't know what instrument this is, but I got kind of tired of hearing that sound effect when you pick up the treasure, or it's the stuff when you hit things in the menu.
It's like a
it's like the wow.
Oh.
The Wangless, yeah.
Is that what that is?
No.
The Wangless. Nice, Clark.
The
Wow.
Wangless.
I don't know what instrument that is. It's like
He's like, oh, is that what that is?
I thought it was. It's on a high pitch when you pick up a.
Yeah, I always thought it was Unix.
There it is.
that.
That's like an Aboriginal flute or something.
Sounds like a fife.
Kind of sounds like an off didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo.
I got really tired
I think
of
it's
hearing
a
that
fife.
sound.
What is it? Does it say in the comments?
Oh, Wangless. Derived from.
Oh, if you want to make it your text tone, that's why someone uploaded it.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, I know which one I need now.
It was fitting for the game. Well, whatever. It was fitting for the game. It was still annoying as fuck to hear it as many times as I did.
I think it's a Wangless.
Wangless, got it.
The Wangless.
That sounded sinister.
That's a death.
Oh, it's there again, too.
So that was just my quick little bullet point there.
I think you're right. I think that instrument is a little overused. But if you want to play it again, just don't collect treasure.
There you go.
Whoa. It's my reason for playing again. I got to get all 60.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You want to platinum Uncharted?
No.
He wants to complete all games. What are you talking about?
No, they didn't motivate me enough to go get all 60 of that.
No.
No, if it unlocked something like fucking amazing, absolutely.
Golden Guns.
I actually thought golden guns were a thing. Maybe it's just the Max Payne 3 thing that just...
There's different
I don't know
outfits
why.
in the game.
Yeah, you can have a Naughty Dog shirt. That's fun.
I put that on for a little bit
Yeah, so did I.
when I was climbing the tower.
All right, I think we should move into final thoughts.
All right, final thoughts it is. Let's do it.
Final thoughts.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go for it.
I think this game is a great foundation to launch this franchise. And of course, it's easy for me to say now because in hindsight, we have 3 other games to look at. I'm very impressed. Even though it's Naughty Dog and their reputation, I'm still impressed. I went into this one with low expectations because I thought it was going to be, basically the blueprint for the other games. I was still surprised at how much is here in this game. For some reason, I thought it was going to be like really short, really simple, and streamlined, and it is to an extent, but that's one thing we didn't actually talk about was the difficulty. I mean, maybe it's because I went from Bloodborne to this, but I felt that this game was easy, and if I died, it was because I was just playing way too relaxed. It's meant to be a fun, lighthearted adventure, keyword, adventure, and it delivers.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to think about it going into it, and I think I'm going to have to agree with some of the points you touched on. It did feel pretty easy, and that's not to say that it wasn't fun, but at least maybe it is compared to the past few things that we played, where it did seem, not to take as much effort just to kind of get through. You just had to be smart about your gunfire battles, and that's pretty much it. And not stepping on one of the triggers and having a rail of spikes be driven through your entire body, which was pretty cool too.
Pretty easy to avoid.
Yeah, pretty easy. The strings on the ground, but I still had to make them run into it once or twice just to get some giggles. Yep, that was good. I'm actually really looking forward to playing the rest of them, and I think it's, what you said again, it does set a good foundation to put that idea in your mind of, oh, I really did enjoy playing this game. Now I want to see how much better they could make follow-up titles, or at least hope they would make better with the follow-up titles, because not all things go that way. But at least from the praise it's been getting, then that's definitely enough interest for me to move forward.
not to repeat what you guys have been saying, but I think that the strongest thing this game has going for us, or for it, is how lighthearted, simple. It's just an enjoyable game to just sit down and not have to like trudge through.
Yeah.
It's a nice story that keeps you interested. The gameplay is just light and just fun. The puzzles just keep you interested. The climbing, like it's all just very cinematic. And I know we touched on this earlier. The pacing is just right in this game, and it's just an enjoyable, just friendly experience that takes all the competitiveness out of it. So yeah, just simple and fun game. Get Clark.
Straightforward.
In conclusion, was what I was looking for.
Good job, Harry.
So I actually think this is a really well-crafted game, and especially the Naughty Dog's first foray into the adventure type of game. I actually think it relied heavily on the Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones formulas for a lot of their storytelling and gameplay. I think it nailed it. I really like this as the blueprint and stepping stone to what comes later in the series.
Well, let's do our scores, gents.
The score.
Scores.
The score.
So I'll go first. I'm going to give this one an 8.0, which ties with Mass Effect and Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
I'm going to go ahead and give this a B+.
I'm thinking an 88 out of 100.
Oh, wow, that's pretty high.
Pretty fair. Mr. Clark?
I'm going to give this 1 pallet of gold rescued from an ancient Incan temple.
What was your score for Lion King?
It was 1 dead carcass trampled by...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think it was one dead father's carcass.
Yeah, 1 dead father's carcass
Yeah.
trampled by...
All right, cool. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our episode for the evening.
Can't wait to get on to
Turkey time.
Turkeys!
Turkeys.
Putty?
Gobble, bitch!
Putty? Really though, guys, we have to do Uncharted 2 at some point. It doesn't have to be right away. I just like you.
I want to play
know.
through
You
this.
Don't know.
At some point, I want to play through this whole series with you guys, so we could start from the beginning and go to the end and give it like a full.
Now let's go to Uncharted 4 next. And
Yeah,
then,
let's
and
do
then,
Uncharted
and then,
4.
And then we'll do 3, and then we'll do 2. Yeah, yeah. Got
And
me?
then we'll do Lost Odyssey.
Yeah, I heard that was good.
Yeah.
And then Prince of Persia.
And then
Hanging
we'll
on
do
Gold Compass.
then we'll do Last of Us again, and then Last of Us 2 and 3 and 4.
There's not going to be that many of those.
The Last of Us Part 5. It just doesn't sound right.
And we'll see you in a week. Yeah, turkey time.
It's what's turkey got to do with it? What's turkey but a silly bird with
turkey time.
What's turkey got to do?
Tickles my lips every time I do it.
Turkey with a hot
Thanks for listening to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Stay up to date on our Facebook at facebook.com/superfunpodcast.